Okay, I have finally got around to being able to do this tutorial for you guys. Um, so I do not have Procreate, I don't have an iPad, I don't have an Apple Pencil. So I've seen all of these people making these really, really cool house signs, and I really wanted to make one, but I didn't have those tools. So I was trying to figure out a way to be able to do that and accomplish that task without those tools that people use, because those can get a little expensive. My daughter watches a show. She's 3, and she watches a show called Charlie's Colorform City or something like that. Well, the whole show is about shapes and how shapes make up our world. Like everything that we use is basically made out of shapes. And so I kind of got it from that, got the idea from that show. So I'm going to go ahead and get into the video and show you guys how I created that house sign. Okay. So I work mainly with rectangles to make my outlines. So I go ahead and I color them black, and I start with rectangles, and I basically just line each part of the house with these rectangles. So I'm gonna start over here on this side, and I'm gonna explain to you right here. I'm gonna explain to you right here. So a lot of houses have either trees or bushes, maybe bricks or something, center blocks or something in front of the house. You kind of just got to pretend like those things aren't there. Some people like to outline those and make those part of their sign. To me, it takes away from the house. So I kind of just pretend like it's not there. And I just start where I figure that the house might start at. So right there. So that's that side of that house. This is actually my house. So I was going to do the same exact house that I showed you guys. I am going to use that house to show you how I got the brick effect. The house that I showed you guys last week, just to show you the brick effect. But I did want to do a different house, so I could show you how I come up with the whole outline. Y'all, it is thunderstorming here, so you might hear some thunder in the video, but just bear with me. So I'm gonna zoom in where my 2 rectangles meet, and I want my corners to kind of match, if that makes sense. The outer corners, because let me show you, if I leave it like that and I merge these together, it leaves this little edge right there, and we don't want that. I mean, it's not very, very noticeable when you cut your pieces out, but it is best to get it as clean as you can. So I like to move excuse me, I like to move my rectangles to fit each other as close as possible, and then I can weld those. I'm gonna wait to weld them right now. I'm just gonna keep on adding my rectangles. So we got that complete side of the house done. I'm gonna do the other side. Y'all, and I'm not sure that I'm a very good teacher. I have a very hard time getting my point across, so I hope this helps you guys. I'm going to do my best to explain as much as possible, and if you guys have any questions, I can answer anything that you need. just want to make sure when you angle your rectangles, you try to get it as parallel as possible to the outline of the house where you're putting it. And it does take some time to get this this process mastered, I guess. I've been using shapes to make most of my files for for about a year, so for a good little while, to where I've basically mastered I guess the art of it. So if you start trying to do this and you feel like you're not getting it, just keep trying, because it's really basically just, it's the same thing as if you had an Apple Pencil and you was tracing it. It's the exact same thing. Hold on, baby. Okay, I'm gonna zoom in right there to those outer corners, because remember, we want those outer corners to match up as best as possible. So we're gonna zoom in. We're just gonna maneuver it, and we want those corners to kind of really touch. And using your arrows on your keyboard is really good for this step. And so zoom back out. Looks good. And this is really the whole process, making your rectangles and outlining the house. And the rectangles don't have to be perfect. You just want to make sure that they're not so small and that it's not a drastic difference in size. And I'm not going to weld them right now, because you can always go back and size them to where they kind of match, or you can go up here and play with you can click it and play with the sizing up here to get them all the same. But I'm not going to do that. The one I did last week, I really just did it, and it worked perfectly. When I cut it out, nothing really looked off or anything, so I think it works. Okay. So I'm going to show you this. If you look right here, you can see part of that rectangle sticking through there. So you can take that one and just size it up so that it's, outside of there. You want to make sure that each end of each one is inside of the other one. I hope that makes sense, y'all. Okay, so I got that little part of the house right there. You know what? I might take this one all the way up here. And so see how when you enlarge it to fit the whole part of the house, it gets wider, which is fine because you can just go right here and size it down. Yeah, it is really, really thundering. I'm sure y'all can hear it through the camera. It is thundering really, really loud. Okay. Okay, so then I'm going to do that one here. I'm going to parallel it with that part of the house. Okay.
Cat. Cheeto. Abigail. Puzzle. Kitty. Pig. Paul. Leo. Microphone. Microphone. That's a great idea. What should I get? Mira having tools. I want this.
Okay, so you see right here how there is like a weird little, it's not necessarily straight, it's like a weird angle right there. I'm going to double click on that. You double click on your shapes and stuff in Silhouette Studio, these little points come up. Some people call them nodes. I just call them points. You want to click on those points and it's loading. When you double click it, you can click these points and you can move them. So I'm going to take it and I'm going to drag it down to just match up with this. There. That way it makes a straight line without the little angle there. And then when you click off of the point editing, the points go away. So there. I'm going to duplicate that one. And I'm going to put it here. And then I'm going to duplicate this one. This is your duplicate button. And then I'm going to put it here.
Hi, friend. Catch a picture. Little.
Okay.
Cold.
And since this angle here is the exact same angle as this, I'm just going to duplicate that again.
Big.
And then I can stick it right there and just
Dirty.
size it down to fit
Day.
right there.
Day. 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 Day.
And same thing with this side.
Little. 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 Big. 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 Catch a picture. Push the star button to hear a song.
And I'm just going to duplicate that one. And I want it to start right there on the house. I'm going to thicken it up just a little bit. Then I'm going to duplicate that one. And then I'm going to resize it to there and make it a little thicker. So our house is actually coming along really good. I want this right here should not have a gap. So you want to make sure that you bring that up. Okay, so see this little corner right there? We want to work with that. I'm gonna go ahead and do this. I'm gonna do these two here first. I want to duplicate it and move it over there. Yeah, this is really all there is to it. So then I'm going to go ahead and put my little outline there. Remember, we can't have any gaps. So we want to start it right there and bring it down. And then Move that one over. And I'm going to zoom in this corner to show you this. So we're going to double click this one right here. And our points come up. So I'm going to make a point right there. And then I'm going to click this one right there and I'm going to delete that point. And what that does is it creates an angle so that I am able, I'm going to move this point over just a bit. And so now I have it basically set equal with that one so that when I weld it, there won't be any pieces sticking out or any gaps. I'm going to exit out of that to get rid of the points. And you see there's like a tiny gap there. So I'm just going to use my arrows to move this rectangle to get rid of that gap.
Touch a picture.
Yes, baby. Okay.
Push the star button to hear a song.
And I'm going to enlarge this one to fit right in there. This one is kind of sticking down just a tad. I'm gonna zoom in so you can see because I can tell. So it's sticking down just a little bit. So I'm gonna click that one and use my arrows to move it up just a little bit. And then over just a little bit. And there we go. So it fits perfectly right there. Okay, and I'm gonna zoom out so you can see what we just did. So that's the little top corner of the house. And so we're going to do that corner. And the cool thing about this and using shapes is you can actually use some of the shapes that you've already done. And so you can just duplicate it and move it over until it fits to your liking. Put this one right there. And then of course I'm going to have to get rid of that little corner right there. And we're going to do the same thing that we did on that side in a minute. I'm just using some of the shapes that I already have to make this happen right here. I'm going to zoom in just a little. To get this right. Use my arrows. Okay. I'm gonna put a point, double click, and put a point here, and then that point is already there. Click that point, delete point. And I'm gonna drag this one. Let me show you why I'm dragging it. Click off of that. See how this corner sticks out just a little bit? I'm gonna double click that one and I'm going to drag it over just a tad so that it makes the angle equal for both of them. This one too, I'm going to fix this. Let's see. I'm just going to make a point here. A point. Uh-oh. Okay. Let me go back. Go back. Okay, point there and points. I don't know why I keep doing that. Let me zoom in some more. Point. Okay, I can move this down right there, and then there. So that point is good. So next I'm going to work with this little back piece right there that you can barely even see, but it is there. So I'm going to
Go.
there. Ma'am. Okay. So we got that little piece. Now, let's see. I'm going to do this top part of the house. Okay, so then I noticed that I made this side too tall, so I'm just going to move it down. And so now I have to go over here and fix that corner. So we don't want that angle. Double click, put a point there. I don't know why my points aren't working today. But it's okay, because we can still make it work. You just want to make it so that so that it falls in line with that one. And there we go. So now I'm going to work with that part of the house. I hope y'all are getting something from this. And I hope I'm teaching it well enough. Hope it's not confusing at all. If y'all have any questions about anything that I mean, or if I say and you don't understand, please, please, please let me know. Okay. Now we'll make another one. Y'all disregard my daughter. She's training the puppy right now. Okay. Okay. I'll put one right here. I'll enlarge this just a little so that when I do this and it gets smaller, it's good. And now I'm going to duplicate this one and put it here. Up there. See, if you look at the outline, it's slowly coming together. So it is a process. It doesn't take too long once you start getting the hang of it. What takes the longest really is getting your your corners and stuff to match up and making sure that those match. That's like, I guess, the most of the time. Because if you're just putting rectangles, it wouldn't take that long to just place the rectangles. But then we have to zoom in and get those corners and line things up. That's the part that kind of takes a while. And I'm just extending this out the length of the porch. Okay, let's see.
I was trying to play so I started her sleeping a better great, but her was still sleeping. That's okay. Do that. Go sleep. What? Bugs.
Where's some bugs? Oh, outside?
No. In here.
That's on the window.
Huh?
That's outside on the window.
Outside on the window.
Mm.
Why did you say that? Hello. Oh, this is adorable.
Okay.
They fall off like a total bug. Huh? Can you get this down? I want to put it right there. I get
Zoom in just a little. Yeah, I think y'all pretty much got the idea of what I'm doing.
is so hot. Ah. Okay.
Having a hard time with that one, getting it straight, so I'm gonna make a new one.
And another light? No. This is no. Wait a second. Just go the right part.
Okay, for this one, I think I'm going to.
Just go way up.
I'm gonna wait on that part because that is white, and I don't. I think I want to do that white. So let's. Evelyn, go let the dog out that crate.
I'm trying to bite me. I'm trying to bite me. No. Every snap. Huh? That is I got it. Whoa! This is so.
Okay.
There's a little for.
Then I'm going to. I think I'm gonna do the porch separately and kind of lay it on top. So all of this white, I think I'm gonna cut that out separately and lay it on top of everything so it kind of stands out. So it's like kind of 3D. So I'm gonna disregard the porch for right now. I'm just gonna work on the rest of the house over here. Use that one.
What she say? What's in my plate?
Okay. So let's see. Let me think. How's this?
It goes. Come on, you see? This goes. What? Whoa! This is so.
Okay, I think I'm gonna go ahead and put it there. Okay.
Okay.
And then okay, I think we got the gist of all of the outlines. Let me just make sure. Bring that down just a bit. And then
Sorry, I can't do it.
okay, so next I am going to show you how I do the shutters and the details of the shutters. My shutters are a little different than the ones that I did on the house before. The shutters on my house have like, I guess like little lines on them, so let's work with that. I wonder if I want to do that white. Okay. So first I'm going to do the windows. And if you hold shift, so you have to click on whatever you're wanting to move. You hold shift and your arrows, and you can keep it, it'll move, a little bit faster than the arrows normally move it. So just hold down shift and press your arrows. And then if you hold down shift and click on other things, it selects more than one or whatever. So I'm going to hold shift down and click that. Duplicate it. And I'm going to put it right there. And then I'm going to do the same thing for the window in the middle. And then the two bottom windows on the porch. Okay. Now I'm gonna do that middle bar. Girl, why are you so loud?
That's what I'm talking about.
The hardest part about this house is going to be that porch. And so I'm sitting here thinking, trying to see how I really want to do that porch. So that's a lot of detail, but we're going to figure it out. So if you're doing a black and white house, if you just want to do the outline and just keep it the very simple modern like just simple black and white sign, then you can leave these windows black and white like I'm about to do them. I mean black like I'm doing them. But if you want to do it in color like I did the last the sign that I did at first, then you could actually, when you cut these out, these windows, you can actually paint those white so that it really does match the house.
What's this? It seems to be bugs on it. I don't think so.
Want to fly? It's not no flies in here right now.
Okay.
Y'all haven't left the door open. No one has left the door open. There are no flies in here.
But it's Cubby.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah.
I read not. I don't think so. Mom,
Yes, babe.
I didn't think that. But it's in the wrong direction. Maybe it's the door on it.
Go play with it tomorrow. Thank you.
I'll buy this thing.
almost ready to work on these shutters. Just getting these last bit of details done. Okay. Now I gotta make, I just remembered I gotta make the little inside squares for the windows.
Windows.
I'm going to select all 4 of these, and then I can put them at each one of these windows. I just realized that I didn't put those pieces on there. Okay, we got all the windows done. Okay. Now I'm going to show you how I do the shutters. Of course, same thing really. You get your rectangle, length and width of the shutter. And then I am going to, so I think I'm gonna end up scoring this. So I'm gonna open the offset panel. It's a little star. You have this one down here on your right hand side that opens up the panel. The one at the top actually just offsets with whatever you have selected. I'm not going to click that because it offsets it, and I'm trying to make it inset. And so if you do an internal offset or inset, you would make sure whatever you want is selected and click internal offset. It's not gonna come off, baby. Do this a little bit more. Okay. And then if you select both of those shapes, color them, and then make a compound path. Well, you know what? I'm not going to do that. Since I'm scoring it, I'm not going to do that. So I'm just going to leave it like that. And then get another rectangle and put it right there. And I'm gonna zoom in. And you can't really tell from just looking at it, but make these just a tad bit shorter. Right there. I'm gonna do this one black. And then this one like a grayish or off black or something. Okay. And then I'm going to do my lines. And so literally you get your line, you use your line tool, and what you'll do is just draw lines here. So now you have one, and then you just hold on, I don't want it to go all the way over the line there. So I'm going to do that. And your lines don't have to be perfect. You just need to, when it scores it, you're just going to be able to tell that the shutters have lines in them. They don't have to be perfect. click each one of those lines and duplicate those. That way I have more to work with.
6, 7, 8.
And we'll click.
Sun.
Hold down shift as you click to add, to add more.
B, E, D, L,
Now you can move your lines over to be sure that they are inside of that rectangle. And there's one down here that we really don't need. I want to delete that one. Okay. Okay. Zoom out. And the house is pretty much almost complete. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to go ahead and weld. I'm going to weld the parts that are weld together. I see a piece that I missed right over here in this corner. So I'm going to grab one of my little rectangles and move that on up. Where'd it go? Where did it go? Back. Duplicate. I'm gonna move this up here. Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna weld everything together because when I start working with these shutters, like I need to select. Let me see if I can do it through here. I can, but when I start working with these shutters and stuff, I don't want to weld my shutters together because I'm going to score those. Everything else that's on here right now is going to be cut, and I don't want to mix. I don't want to mess up and mix that up with it. So, and I want to score those lines on those shutters to give it that detail. So, I think I'm going to go ahead and move the shutters out of the way. So I'm going to select that, and when I drag that up, it selected the house picture and these two lines. So I'm going to hold down shift and deselect the house, deselect that line, deselect that line, and I think this line. Okay, and then I can move the shutter out the way. and I'll work with that in a minute. Everything else is going to be cut, so I'm going to select everything. But remember, when you select everything at this point, you have to deselect the picture. And then now if just the lines on the house is selected. And I'm going to weld all of that together. And so now, if I move it over, so I'm going to show you. Move. I'll put this back up there in a few. So, as you can see, we kind of got a little house going. The only difference is the lines on the house. So the actual lines on the house, which I'm going to score those as well, those details, and the porch. And I think I'm going to cut the porch out separately and lay it on top so that it's kind of 3D on there. So yeah, that's the gist of the whole thing, with just getting each little piece of detail together. I'm going to finish doing this just so I can show you all the detail on getting this. So before I move this shutter back in, I'm gonna finish it up. Okay, give me 1 second. Yes, ma'am. Okay, so we got our shutter ready. Oh, let me go ahead and, because I'm going to, let me see, let me see. Let me weld this together and see what we have. Let me send this back to the back. Send it back. Okay, I know what I think I have to do because that black is actually in the front. So this little piece on my shutters on the front of my house actually has this little middle black piece. And so what I'm going to do, I'm going to get that gray piece that's under there. I'm going to get that. And then also select that black piece. And I'm trying this out. I'm not sure if this is what I want to do. I think I'm going to subtract it. So you click subtract all. So you have to have both of those selected and click subtract. And then that makes two pieces right there. Which those are going to be scored. So let me show you that. So I'm gonna, now I can just take that away. So I can delete that middle piece now because now it's just, I really should have just took two rectangles and made it, made one up here and one up here. That's what I should have did. So yeah, I'm still learning how to do this myself. This is only my second time. So I'll get better as time goes and I do more of them, so I'm still learning as well. So I'm gonna select all of this. But then I'm going to deselect the black. So now just the gray circles and the lines on them are selected. I'm going to turn those line colors blue, or whatever color you use. So I have specific colors that I use for scoring, engraving, and cutting. And actually my scoring is purple. So I know that I'm going to score that. And then I keep the black red because I know I'm cutting this whole thing out. So when I get this into the Glow Forge, it's actually going to score this right here, and then it's going to cut it out. So I'll probably already have, okay. I'll probably already, so I'll probably get it cut out, and I will only pull out these shutters, and I'll paint them. I think I'll go ahead and paint them light gray, that light gray color or whatever, and then put it back in there and let it score it, and then I'll go back in with my small paintbrush and paint this black outline. I may or may not cut this out for myself. I have not decided if I wanted to make a sign for myself yet. So I'm going to go ahead and group all of that together so that it's all one, and I can move it around to each one of these other shutters. So, and then I'm going to duplicate it in there. I'm going to select both of these so that I can move them at the same time. As y'all can see, when you look mainly at the black, you can see that it's actually coming together and it's actually looking like my house. So it's really simple. Rectangles. I mean, who knew? That cartoon that my daughter watches knew. They knew. And thankful to them, I was able to come up with this method. To me, it's cheaper. It does take a little time, but I'm sure, I've never used the iPad and Apple Pencil, but I'm sure that takes time as well to get the lines straight or whatever, they do with that. Uh-oh, I didn't mean to do that. Okay, and so now I'm going to work on the door. And so I want to make the trim around the door first. So, you just start with your rectangle. Okay. And since we've already welded all of the rest of everything together, we're going to select these 3 rectangles that we just did, and and this one down here. Well, I got to make that one longer. Hold on. Go ahead and weld those together. We'll make this one just a tad bit longer. And then I'm going to weld it to what we just did. There, now it's all one piece. And then, let's see. I think I'm gonna end up where the everywhere the porch is. I think I'm gonna end up cutting that off so that the porch can lay like right flat up against that. But we'll do that once we get the porch done. Okay, so we got the windows. Okay, those circles up there is probably gonna be, I'm just gonna score those. And then I'll make internal offset. So those will be scored. So I'm going to do purple. And then I'm going to duplicate it and set it right there. So we got those circles. Now this oval on my door. Okay, and I'm gonna do another internal offset because that part has like a little double deal to it. And then again, we're gonna select them both and make it purple, the line color purple. So we know we're scoring that. And then lastly, I think before I do the porch, these little lanterns. So what I did for the lantern last time is I made a small circle right there and turn it black. And then, well, no. we can make it just a tad bit smaller. Okay, then I got this little rounded rectangle. And make it a tad bit smaller, and made an offset, an actual offset. What did I do? Around it. Okay, so then what's selected right now is the offset. So I want to hold down shift and click the circle, and I want to weld those together, and then I'm going to take the inner little rectangle and the whole thing and make it a compound path. And what that does is just makes it open. I'm going to make this rectangle in the inside just a tad bit smaller. Do that and then center it. And then I'm going to select the whole thing, right click, make it a compound path. And so then when it cuts that out, everything else will be black. So you'll paint all that black, and then this inside part you can paint it white or yellow to reflect the light. So then we just have the little part up here. And what did I do for that? I cannot remember. Let's see. Okay, this is what I did. I used this little bell shape. And I go ahead and make it black so I can move it better. Or easier. And then you just stick it up there. I want to kind of make it a little bit wider, so I'm going to zoom in, and then I'm going to widen it up just a tad. And that's how I made my lantern. And then you just click both of them and weld them together. Now you have your lantern. Let me show you what I mean. When it cuts it out, this piece is going to cut out separately. And when that inside part cuts out, you can either paint it yellow or like a, you know, something like that to give it the effect that the light is on, I guess. So then I'm going to select the lantern and the light, duplicate it and move it over to that part over there. Move this down just a tad. And there we go. We are almost done. Almost done. I really don't know how I want to do. Okay. Simple. Back into the rectangles. So we're just going to plain and simple, and I'm going to color it white just so I can make sure that I can see what I'm doing. So I'm working on the rail, I'm at the porch, the rails on the porch. And you're doing the exact same thing that you did for the house. Let me make this wider. Okay. Okay, so I have my main poles there. I think I'll make it just a tad bit bigger, or maybe even a little bit longer there. Because what I'm gonna do is, if you remember a few minutes ago when I did the subtract all, and I subtracted or like cut out part of, that's when I did the shutter. I had that little piece right here and I did subtract all and it cut it out. I'm going to do that here with the porch, and I'm going to show you exactly what I'm talking about so that it fits perfectly and you can kind of piece it together like you want to, so that it all fits perfectly. Okay. Have to bring this out more. You know what? I think I want to do it a lot more detailed than just one rectangle. So I think I'm going to say a rectangle here. I'm going to do the rounded rectangle. Okay, so there, white, and then regular rectangle, so there, and then let me use that one. And I'm gonna weld those together. And there is my pole. I think I'm gonna make it a straight cut across the top. So whenever you use your knife tool, I don't know if everyone is familiar with Silhouette, but there's this little thing over here to the side that has these numbers. Whenever that disappears, that means that your cut is straight. The one on the side. So when those numbers on the side disappear, you can click. And so I'm going to do that. So now I have poles ready for each little spot. And see how you get the back posts, those are on the side of the house, and you can see them in the front right here on this. When I show you how to do the subtract all, that's how we're going to get rid of that. It's coming together. I know this seems probably like a long process, y'all, but it's taking me a while because I'm trying to explain it and go through, details, and I'm doing it all in one sitting. I think that when I did the other one that I did, I think it took me maybe like 2 days or so to really get it, maybe even 3 days to get it like I wanted it to be. So I'm doing this right here for you guys all at once. Perfect. And that went perfectly because I don't have to do anything. I don't have to move it or anything. I just got to click it. Okay. So I'm gonna back up a little bit and I'm gonna select all of that. So now I'm gonna have to deselect. I'm gonna deselect the window, the house, the shutters, and these poles. And I'm gonna show you. So I selected another shutter. So let's say you try to deselect everything and you think you have just what you need. When you get ready to move, things will move too. So you can either click the back button or you can click, let me do that again. Or you can click Control Z and that makes it pop right back. So that's like the back button just on your keyboard. Control Z. And so you just remember what you need to deselect. That. Let's move it and see what else we had. The door frame. So we got the door frame. That and that shutter. And that should be it. Okay. So we'll hit Control Z again and put it back where it goes. And what we're going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and group it. I'm gonna weld it so it's all one. And then I can duplicate it, and I can use that to stick it right there for the other pieces of the porch. Duplicate it. So right here is not as long. So all you'll do is take your knife tool. So I'm going to zoom in here so I can show you what I'm going to do. So it's going to be about right there. And I know that this bar is where I'll be cutting. So you want to make sure that it sticks over just a little bit, because you're going to have to weld it to these poles. So you don't want to cut over here because you need to be able to weld it. So you want to cut like right there. So you want to grab it there. Don't let it go yet, so you can check, so you can be sure to check where you need to weld. So my cursor is still right there. So I'm going to count those. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. So I know at the 15th one, I am going to cut. So I'm going to cut right in front of the 15th. And there goes the little numbers. They're at the bottom. They're at the bottom now when you do up and down, but when you cut side to side, they're on your left hand side. So they're at the bottom now, and so I'm going to make them disappear. And click. Okay, now I'm going to get off of that. Uh-oh. It's not welded together good. Bring it down just a bit and weld it. There we go. And there we go. And it looks like we don't even need the ones in the back. So that's all we need there. So now I'm going to show you how I get these cut so that they fit perfect. I'm going to select that one, select that one, and select my rails, and then I'm going to go right here. It's called is that the right one? The modify panel, and I'm going to click subtract all. Okay, now I'm going to click on that and click ungroup, click on that and click ungroup. Now I can delete all those little, not all, but I could delete every little piece that sticks out in the front in our way, like that. And now those are like in the background. Okay, and so I'm going to outline the back part of that porch. Black. Now I'm going to weld all of this together. I'm going to grab all of this and bring it to the front. Like that. Okay. So I just brought these to the front. So, but if I move that black is still there. So when I get ready to do my sign, I can't put this pole like, you know, just on top of the black. So what I'm going to do, let's get it back where it needs to be. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click this one, that one, and that one, and then I'm going to click our black outline, and I'm going to go back to my modify panel and click subtract all. So now when I get ready to make my sign, there's going to be a space for me to put my pieces that go in there. See what I mean? So that way the pieces sit in there perfectly. So now we're going to weld all of our railing together. I think that's it. And how I know that I have all of it, that part over there is going to be separate. So how I know I have all of it is when I move it, it all moves together. So we're good. I can Control Z, put it back where it goes, and I can click weld. Now it's all one piece. So that's all one piece. And so when I get ready to cut it, it's going to cut out as one piece, and then I can glue it as one piece, which is perfect. Okay, so you remember I told you a few minutes ago that I was going to cut part of that window off so that we don't have to worry about that when laying down our, do I want to do that? Yeah, when laying down our porch railing. So I have the porch selected. I'm gonna hold down shift and I'm gonna select the shutters. I'm gonna select all 4 shutters and I'm gonna select the window. And then again, modify panel, subtract all. And so that might take a little while to load because it's a lot of little pieces. I don't know if I'm the only one, but Silhouette Studio definitely still glitches a lot for me. So I just have to be patient with it. So this is not just a me recording a video type of thing. This is something that happens almost every day. And I work with Silhouette Studio every day. Okay. I don't know what that is. Oh, because it cut it. I'm gonna worry about that in a minute. Let's see about that. But I can click this, 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 and this. And you have to hit ungroup. If you don't hit ungroup, they stay together. So now you can click all the little pieces that is in between each part of the railing. And we're going to get rid of those. That way they're not there and we don't have to worry about seeing that in between our railing or having to set the railing on top of that. So I would definitely say this is one of the more complicated houses that you would do. Because it has a lot of detail. Uh-oh. Control Z, and then I need to shift and deselect the picture. And now I just deleted the little pieces of the house that's in there. One more. I have to zoom in to get that one. 2 more. So there and there. And there's some little pieces in there. We don't want to leave any pieces because we don't want, when we cut this out, we don't need no unnecessary things going on. Okay, I'm gonna use this hand to move me over to make sure I got all of these pieces. There's one more in here, but I'll get that in a minute. We'll zoom out and get that one. I have to do that. Deselect the house, deselect that, deselect the picture, and delete. Okay. Let's see how I want to do that. Maybe a slight one right there. Let me look at it. Without the picture, I'm gonna delete it. Yeah, it definitely needs that part at the bottom, so I'm gonna need this. You definitely don't have to do this in one sitting. So it looks like a lot, but it really is not. Let me see how I'm gonna do this. Delete that little part. Move that up so that I can weld them together. And I'm not sure if you guys have seen this. It's called the warp panel. And I'm going to warp selected shapes. And what this lets me do is it makes it look like things are like turned at an angle, just depending on how you move it. So this is going to be the railing over there towards on the side of by the front door. And this doesn't have to be perfect. I just want it to look like it's to the side. Okay, I think that's good. Let's see what we have. Let's see. Wrong thing. I don't know why I did that. Delete those and work with this one. Keep on hitting the wrong button, y'all. Let me see. Okay, that's not working, and that's fine. I'm just going to make it myself. Okay, now we can merge all of these together. So right here, you can see there's no black right there. Wherever there is no black, wherever there is no black, then the area won't cut out. So what I mean by that is, let's see if I can explain this well enough. Okay, so you see how this door frame has black all the way around it. Whenever you cut that out of your, let's say you use birch plywood or Baltic birch, and you cut that out of your wood, of your Baltic birch, well, this outline is going to cut out that you plan to spray paint black, and then this inside is going to cut out. Well, right here, since there is nothing on these sides, this will not actually cut out. Like it's not, it won't cut out. So that if you decide to do one that has actual detail and you want to actually paint it the color of the house, you want to make sure that each piece is fully enclosed so that you can paint those. Let's see. Try to fix this right here. I think this one just needs to come up. I'm going to select all of this. And then I'm going to weld it all together. I'm going to bring this in the front, bring to the front, and I want to cut there so that it fits perfectly. So select my railing and the black, and then modify panel and subtract all. Okay, I think I'm done with the house. And this right here would be up to you if you want to add that. I think that it needs it, but it's totally your decision if you want to add it. But then I'm gonna, if I add that, I need to bring this porch to the front, select both of them, and then modify panel, subtract all. Okay, and just briefly, I'm gonna show you that if you wanted to add the detail of the lines on the house, you would literally just put lines on there and score those. But right now I'm going to do a side by side so you can see the difference. And there you go. And so that is how I do my house outlines. It takes a little bit of time, but once you get the hang of it, it wouldn't take long. Once you get the hang of it, and again, you don't have to do it in one sitting. So if y'all have any questions for me, just ask me. I don't mind helping you guys. Thank y'all for letting me show y'all how to do this, because this is exciting to finally have something that I feel like I can do, you know. So thank y'all.